Hi, good evening, and welcome to our web series, Connecting the Dots. Tonight is a natural approach to treating sickle cell disease. Right, just one moment. Let me look for. I want to encourage everyone to purchase your walkathon pre-order your walkathon t-shirts. We have some events coming up. We can't walk physically, but next month in July we're going to be having some virtual health events. Just give me a moment. I'll share some more information with you. So next month in July we're having our virtual wellness month, and we're gonna have yoga, fitness. We're gonna have some nutritionists on. We're gonna also look into mental health, and every week it's gonna be something different. We invite you all to participate for that. Okay, so Ms. Mosely is the founder of Everything Health LLC. She's a US veteran herbalist, published author of 2 books, Sickle Cell Natural Healing and Healing from God's Medicine. She's a global speaker, sickle cell advocate, and holistic consultant. Because she faced multiple chronic health conditions in her life involving herself and her son, she has a huge passion to help others become healthy and overcome their illness. She wants to share her amazing history with the world, her amazing story with the world, especially those who suffer from sickle cell disease. After watching her son suffer from so much pain, she realized it was a better way, and through her extensive research, knowledge, and expertise using natural herbs and proper nutrition, her son has not had a crisis in 11 years. Tamika's current focus is in the sickle cell battle in Africa, where the disease is so prevalent. Also bringing awareness to other chronic diseases and educating on how to manage, prevent, and reverse many health challenges millions are faced with in today's time. Her main goal is to provide education, guidance, and useful information on the importance of natural herbs and nutrition, and how to help sustain your health while living on this earth. So, Tamika, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing me to speak today to this amazing event. Anytime there's an opportunity to speak on sickle cell, I am always there because my son suffered so much, and just knowing to educate that we really don't have to suffer, you know, it's amazing to be here to present. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we are going to jump in. Let me make sure I have the right presentation. Okay, you all can see my screen?
Yes, yeah, we can.
Okay. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and jump in. Again, my name is Tamika Mosely. The things that we're going to be talking about today, or you will learn, is going to be my personal sickle cell journey with my son, essential minerals and vitamins that improve sickle cell, proper nutrition to improve sickle cell, and then natural ways to manage stress, because we're living in a stressful time at this moment. And living with sickle cell is already, you know, has its own battles. So just going to talk about some natural things that we can take to calm down the cortisol levels and not be as stressful, because whenever those cortisol levels are through the roof and we are stressed out, that can cause more chronic health issues to happen. So we always want to keep our stress levels under control and keep our hormones balanced. Okay, so my son, name is Aiden, suffered multiple crises at the age of 1. And it was a very emotional time for me, just finding out that he has this debilitating disease. I didn't know anything about it. I just know I went to school with people who lost their loved ones. I remember a friend of mine, she lost both her siblings in a hospital with sickle cell. So it was just a very taunting time for me. And when we found out that my son had it, you know, he was pretty much 4 weeks, 5 weeks old. And yeah, so that was it. We went to our first doctor's appointment, the very first one. I had about 30 questions because in my mindset, I'm not trying to just go along with the system, and because we know what happens, right? Crises after crises after crises. That's just the life of a person that has sickle cell. But I wasn't trying to sign up for that, what they want everybody to sign up for. So I had about 30 questions. And at the end of that appointment, nothing was answered. And talking about devastated, I was devastated all over again because I'm going to the one facility that can help me, but I got no answers. So we just went on, carried on in life. I just told myself, well, when the crises happen, we'll deal with it at that point in time. So we went on, and then my son started having crises, and it was splenic sequestration crises of the spleen. It's when blood doesn't properly filter through, the spleen can enlarge and complications can happen. And then every 2 months he was in the hospital. So then that's when I started researching and found out that food has the power to heal us. It is the most potent tool that we have to help prevent and treat many of our chronic diseases. Dr. Mark Hyman, that was from Food Matters. And I put out beside, food and herbs have the power to heal us. Although they're the same, we get confused. So I can have turmeric, or I can have ginger in capsules, or I can have the actual ginger root and the turmeric powder and cook with food. So capsule, tinctures, or food is all the same. Food and herbs, they're all the same thing. So as my son was going through these crises month after month after month in the hospital over and over, I had to get on my knees and I had to ask the Creator, ask God to guide my footsteps, because I just knew that He didn't bring us here for us to suffer, because this world is amazing. And I know Revelation 22:2 says the herbs are for the healing of the nation. But I went to see, what does the word has to say about herbs? And so Genesis 1:11, God said, let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and fruit, trees bearing fruit in which their seed, each according to his kind on the earth, and it was so. Genesis 1:29, then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they will be yours for food. And so when I read this, I immediately started giving my son liquid chlorophyll. Now, chlorophyll, we know, is found in leafy green vegetables. Anytime you eat kale, broccoli, spinach, bok choy, leeks, celery, you're eating chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is very similar to hemoglobin. The only difference between chlorophyll and hemoglobin is the center atom. The center atom in chlorophyll is magnesium. The center atom in hemoglobin is iron. That's it. But I started giving him the beetroot juice, nattokinase serapeptase, and ginkgo biloba. That's what I started giving him at the age of 1, when he started having crises after crises after crises. Now, chlorophyll, it keeps the blood pumping and flowing, it keeps the body producing red blood cells. Anytime we eat leafy greens, that's what leafy green does. It keeps the body producing healthy red blood cells, increase oxygen, and it can raise your hemoglobin. Now, a lot of times we get food, the food can be processed, it could be not organic, it could be GMOs, we cooking it, how much of the nutrition are we cooking out of it? My son was 1, and I didn't have time for all that, making him eat 8 bowls of broccoli, 8 bowls of spinach, 8 bowls of kale, 8 bowls of Brussels sprouts, although his body needed that much nutrition to get over the crises. But, as a child, you just can't make your kid eat like that. So that's where the supplements, the herbs, come into play. Herbs are a game changer. That's why I got the chlorophyll supplement, and now I can give it to him, 1 full dropper, 3-4 times a day. Okay, so I also found...
Just pause you for a moment. Could you click slideshow to the top?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Could you click slideshow to the top? Your top bar in PowerPoint. Click slideshow.
Slideshow. Okay, let me see. Where is?
All right.
It's close. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have the chlorophyll, and then we said beetroot juice, because what happened, I gave him chlorophyll, and that was it. Chlorophyll every day for the next 7 months is what I did. No crises, nothing at all, and I was so excited. But the 8th month, he had a crisis, and I was devastated all over again. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because anytime in sickle cell, for me as a mother, I didn't want to sit around and wait for a crisis. That is not who I am. Because when you sit around and wait on a crisis, you don't know how that's going to play out. Sickle cell is unpredictable. So you don't know if a crisis can lead to just a pain crisis, if it leads to strokes, it could lead to death, it could lead to organ failure. We don't know. We do not know that. No doctor nowhere can tell you that. So in my head, I didn't want my child to have a crisis. That's why I was devastated. So I said, okay, if you're going to treat or manage or a disease with herbs, I have to do something more than just one. You know, just chlorophyll is not going to do it by itself. So that's when I had to go ahead and add the beetroot juice. I add nattokinase serrapeptase, and I added ginkgo biloba. Once I added those 3 herbs in, he did not have a crisis for the next 3 years. And you're talking about amazing. You're talking about a mother feeling like on top of the world. I mean, I felt like I just won millions of dollars, even though I didn't, but I just gave my child a new lease on life. And I just could not believe 3 years, no crises. It was amazing. So, let me just talk about ginkgo biloba for everybody who's not into herbs and things like that. Ginkgos has been here since the beginning of time, because I just read Genesis 1:29. God said, I've given you every seed-bearing plant. So this ginkgos, this natto, beetroot juice, chlorophyll was here, Genesis 1:29, at the beginning of the world. So this is God's medicine cabinet. I'm not making the beetroot juice. I don't make the ginkgo biloba, but this has been here since creation. It hasn't been in our culture, I can say that, but in the Asian culture, they grew up eating these type foods. But ginkgo biloba is great for memory. You know, we would know that because we hear so much about it. But we hear a lot about herbs. We don't know all the benefits. But another benefit of ginkgos is great for blood circulation. And that's why I gave it to Aiden. Nattokinase is a food that's been eaten in Japan, in the Japanese culture, for centuries. It's made from fermented soy. It prevents strokes. It keeps the blood flowing in its most natural state, keeps all the bad protein and bad toxins out of the blood. So I gave him the nattokinase serrapeptase and beetroot juice. Now we know what beets are. Beets builds the blood. We know that. And so those are the things that I gave him. And 3 years went by, no crises. Okay, so when I got into that 3rd year, that's when I started getting online, my social media platform, educating people, getting ready to go to Africa, educating 7 cities over there on sickle cell and how we don't have to suffer. Nigeria alone, over 300,000 babies die every year. Just don't have to, do not have to. So when my son turned 3 and I learned about even flow, I stopped giving everything else and I started giving him even flow, because even flow, first of all, was more affordable, because I'm spending over here about, I don't know, $100 and some a month maybe, but even flow is $30. And it contains 11 herbs, enzymes, and minerals. So whenever we're treating a chronic illness, we can't just do one thing. We always have to do a multiple of things, because it's food and you need that much to manage and to help whatever situation you have going on. But Evenflow was in a double-blind study in Kenya, Kisumu, a couple of years ago, 97% effective in recent double-blind study. If anybody would like a copy of that study, you can definitely reach out to me and I will email it to you. Other things that even flow helps with nerve pain, PMS, those menstrual cramps, migraines, poor blood circulation, increase red blood cells, increase oxygen, it increases your hemoglobin, helps reduce inflammation, which helps with pain, and increase hemoglobin. I have that twice. All right, so now Aiden has been on Even Flow. Let's see, he started that at 3 and he took it for 6 years straight. 6 years. Now, let me share with you, there is a study that was done in Taiwan that said herbs have the power to change your DNA. Now, I've always heard about that study, always seen it. I would love to be a part of that one day. Well, let me tell you what, once we moved to Washington State, I've been giving Aiden the Even Flow every day, nonstop, without fail for 6 years. But since we've been in Washington State, I have not given my son Even Flow for 3 years. And I didn't do it intentionally. It's just, we moved, everything was going on, so much was happening. I just didn't do it. So now I can finally say, in my son, okay, that has SS, has not taken anything for sickle cell in 3 years. He may have had 14 Even Flows in the past 3 years, but that's nothing. And he is still going strong. He still plays sports. He still swim in the cold Washington water. He's still being a kid. No crises, no infections, no nothing. So we're going to walk through exactly what I did. Well, there he is. He is unstoppable. Amazing. He plays golf, snow tubes. He has a very normal, healthy life, as any kid would, as any kid deserved and should have. So I go all over the world educating people on how to live with sickle cell pain-free and how not to have any more crises while doing it. Okay, let's talk about how important it is to eat a healthy diet. 3 of my favorite quotes that I love, because we have not been taught this in the United States. We're never taught anything about nutrition, which plays a huge role in a huge part in everyday life. So the food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine, or it can be the slowest form of poison. So let me just show you what I'm talking about here. As you see my son's story, amazing story. So food for him has been the most powerful form of medicine. But then we look at other people that day in, day out, eat all the processed, the sugars, the white sugar, the dairy, the horrible dairy, the candy, the cakes, the cookie, the processed foods, everything that's super bad. That person will end up down the road, diabetes, hypertension, chronic issues, health problems, because you're not eating the right stuff. Okay, those who have no time for healthy eating will sooner or later have to find time for illness. And let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. The great physician Hippocrates. Okay, when we talk about food, we want to always look at alkaline versus acidic, okay? Most things that we're eating today in the world are going to be the foods that are in the bottom corner, your donuts, your sandwiches, Subway, your sodas, your chips, your cookies, your pretzels, all the processed stuff, right? When we should be focusing more of the food in the top right corner. The food in the top right corner, these are the food that have energy, okay? Food that contains energy, food that heals the body. When you eat these foods, it immediately plays a huge role in lowering the blood pressure, preventing cancer, lower your cholesterol, better your blood sugar, prevent diabetes, heart disease, Parkinson, dementia, when we put all the good stuff inside of the body. Now, foods that we really want to avoid and things that we want to start reading food labels. Because a lot of times when we go into a store and look at the front of the label, the front can fool you because a lot of times it can say 100% natural or 100% vitamin C, or, just to throw you off. But you need to turn it around and read what they have actually put into it. because in today's time, we're dealing with people that do not have our best interest for our health firsthand. It's all about profit. It's all about money. It's all about the mighty dollar. So stay away from high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, Splenda, Sweet and Low, Equal, white processed foods, sodas, diet sodas, sodium nitrate, found in bacon, lunch meat, hot dog, sausage link, processed meat, all linked to cancer, diabetes, and more. Blue, green, red, yellow dyes linked to thyroid, bladder, kidney, adrenal, and brain cancers. This is what they put in the Capri Suns, your Hawaiian Punch, Doritos, Cheetos, all the stuff that kids love to eat, Talkies, the bad stuff. All processed, all baking products, pie crust, biscuits, cookies, baked goods, all contain aluminum. Yeah, they put aluminum in our food. Evil. Avoid canned vegetables. Go for raw, steamed, or cooked. All fruits are great. No canned. Consume fresh. Avoid fruit juices unless it's fresh pressed. Or if you buy a juice, you know that it's just 100% organic, non-GMO, and it's natural. So what we're dealing with in today's time is we've gotten so far away from nature to it's pathetic. Everything that God has made for us to eat, everything that I just showed you in Genesis 1:29 that he said to eat, we're not eating it. They have come over here. You will hear me say they. They are going to be the people that controls this entire world. So God made the pink salt. They came over and made white salt, which is horrible. We should be eating pink salt because 84 trace minerals, 84 plus trace minerals are found in the pink salt. But today you will see people eating white salt. God made the spelt, ancient grains, sourdough. But now today people eat white bread, wheat bread. Wheat contains nothing but gluten, and gluten builds inflammation inside the body, which leads to chronic illness later on down the road. So everything our creator has created, we're not even eating it. We've moved away from it. See, we're eating all the stuff that they have made because it tastes good to us. Other things that have aluminum in it are going to be things from cookware, deodorant, vaccines, additives, microwave popcorn, salted snacks, coffee creamers, flour tortillas, pizza crust, muffins, donuts, cookies. But keep in mind, I'm listing these things, but we still can eat healthy. You know, there are still things that we can eat. We have to buy differently. So you wouldn't buy gold medal flour. Here in the US, we have flour that's called gold medal, GOLDMEDAL. This type flour is what we have always cooked with. Ever since I was a little girl, my mom would buy gold medal all the time. And I wonder why my mom in her later years got diabetes. But in the gold medal flour, there's a byproduct they put in there called alloxan, ALLOXAN. Researchers feed alloxan to rats in the labs when they want to induce diabetes, when they want to come up with new treatments for diabetics. But this is what we eat. This is what they put in our food. This is why the US have 30.3 million people with diabetes here and 84.1 million pre-diabetes. Isn't that something? It's all in the food. We have to change what we're eating. We have to change the way we eat. Oh, there's gold medal. I had a picture, didn't even know it. So that's what the flour looks like. We have to start buying healthier options. So when you go shop, look for unbleached flour, or you get almond flour, coconut flour, sprouted corn, cassava, millet. So there's all types of healthier flours out there, but the poison ones are always the ones that's pushed in our face and the ones that are advertised on TV. Remember, the news media is an irresponsible media, and they have the power to control the masses of the mind. So we have to be able to research on our own and be smart enough on our own to do our own research and to know what's right, what's not, what's good, what's bad. Okay, so going back to the salt, I hit on this earlier. They take the natural salt, heat it to 1200 degrees Fahrenheit, killing everything in it that God put in it for us to be eating, and then sells it to us And all we have at the end of the day is 97.5% sodium chloride that gets into the bloodstream and makes us sick. So we need to go get pink Himalayan salt, and we need to buy an iodine supplement to take, because they have taken iodine out of majority of the foods here in the US. So in the US, we have people severely deficient in iodine here. So it's critical that we must make sure that we have this in our system. You know, pregnant women, when you're pregnant, iodine is something that you should take during pregnancy, because it will give your baby the highest IQ known to man. Research and Google this. There's been several studies done on iodine and pregnant moms. And just think about in the Asian culture, the reason why we see a lot of super smart Asian children and kids, because in the Asian culture, they already eat tons and tons and tons of iodine. But in the US, we don't. Okay, talking about dairy. Now, they did animal domestication years ago. God made A2 casein. That is the type casein that my mom used to milk in the country back in the 1930s, 1940s. That is the healthy dairy. You know, you're always going to have healthy, then you're going to have unhealthy, because they had to come and redo it over. So A2 casein, if you're in the store, you see A2, that is a healthier, well, that is the type that we want to drink. If you drink milk, now everybody doesn't drink milk. You don't need dairy. You know, we're the only species living still drinking milk. Everybody, every other animal in the creation is not drinking milk. So we don't need it. We really don't. But what they did to it, when they did the animal domestication, they created what you call A1 casein. This type of casein, they pump up the cows with chemically engineered growth hormones and antibiotics. So at the end of the day, whether you get organic or not, you're eating a bunch of pus and hormones. So this is the reason we don't want to consume cow's milk, that A1 casein, because it builds up tons of mucus and inflammation inside the body. So if you just a milk lover, make sure you're going to choose A2, coconut, goat, hemp, or flax. You have to choose other, you know, don't do what we've been taught to do, because these things are making us sick. Okay, so from the top, do not consume white sugar. Go for coconut sugar, monk fruit sugar, stevia, raw honey, even date syrup or date sugar, D-A-T-E. Conventional dairy, don't consume it. You want to do A2, goat milk, coconut milk, or if you see Jersey cow. Jersey cows have never been injected with chemically engineered growth hormones or antibiotics. Don't do white flour. You want to choose unbleached coconut, almond, or sprouted corn flour. Don't do 100% wheat or white. You want to do ancient or sprouted grains, or spelt, or sourdough. Butter. Don't do artificial butters. Country crock, I can't believe it's not butter, all that fake stuff. Don't do anything fake. Just do grass-fed butter. Yogurt and Yoplait, that's all made with the bad milk. So if you eat yogurt, you want to eat yogurt that's made with coconut milk, A2, Jersey milk, sheep, or goat milk. This is how we got to choose and shop strategically now, because they have poisoned our food. Lunch meat, you know, everybody likes sandwiches, right? Make sure when you buy your lunch meat, it contains no nitrates, no nitrites, no MSG, no antibiotics. Okay, supplements, and this is the last part, or no, it's not. One more part after this. So we're going to talk about the supplements. And these are things that we can take that's going to maintain our health while we're living with sickle cell disease. These are the things that's going to keep us healthy, keep us out of, keep crises away, because now we're going to learn what to put into the body to keep our body moving and operating with sufficient amount of blood flowing it through, where we don't have to go into crises. The first thing everybody needs when you're talking about healing, I don't care if you have sickle cell, I don't care if it's cancer, if it's heart disease, if you have Lyme disease, liver disease, it doesn't matter. The first step to healing, you have to heal your gut. You see, when we're brought into this world, we're brought in through the birth canal of our mother. We are going through, and all the good bacteria is going through our eyes, our nose, our mouth. We swallow some, our ears. And then when the baby come out, the first dripping of a mother's milk is what? Colostrum. Colostrum sets that immune system for that baby. So when we come into the world, we're coming to good bacteria, because this is going to keep us healthy throughout life while we're on this earth. But now what they didn't tell us, at 3-4 months old, start your baby on probiotics to keep that good bacteria in the gut going so that baby do not ever get sick. All right. So now whenever you heal, you have to go back to the gut, and we have to put the good bacteria back there. Once we do this, now the body is ready to start absorbing the other herbs and the food. Now it can start healing. If you don't heal the gut and you just start taking stuff and eating stuff, it's not, now you can get better, but it's not going to be 100% because you can't leave any steps out. All right, probiotics are live bacteria that's found in the digestive tract, and it supports the body's ability to absorb nutrients, fight infections, and other chronic illnesses. 70 or 80% of our immune system, hear me out, 80% of our immune system is found inside of our gut. So now what does that tell you? We have to keep this immune system strong. We have to keep the gut strong. When we keep these two strong, we're going to be some healthy people. But in this life, we're taught different. In this life, they tell all sickle cell children to take a penicillin at birth and take it for 5 years. Wow. When I hear that, all I can hear is that baby at the end of 5 years will not have no immune system and no gut. That's going to open up the door of all other chronic issues happening to that baby, because you cannot make it on this earth with no immune system and no healthy gut. So these are things that we have to be conscious of, okay? Penicillin will kill bad bacteria. Okay, I give it that. But what it's also doing is killing all the good bacteria outside of the gut as well. You can't do that. We cannot do that. We cannot sit here and take an antibiotic for 5 years. You know, something else that we could end up having, antibiotic resistance. That means you're taking something every day that you don't even have to take. But then 10 years later, if you really have some type of staph infection or bacteria infection that you really need it for, it's not going to work. And what that's called is an antibiotic resistance, when you've taken it for so long and now it just doesn't work. All right, so probiotics they boost the gut health, decrease antibiotic resistance, improve mental illness. It reduces inflammation, treats infections, help lowers the blood pressure, prevent against diabetes, and help improve fatty liver. So probiotics are critical and crucial. Okay, moving on to the next one. This one is very critical, especially in indigenous population. You will hear me say indigenous just because I do not use terms like Black, minorities, or African Americans. I don't use those terms. I use terms that you will find in the 4th edition of the law book that the world is still operating from. So I use those terms in that book. So in indigenous people, because we have melanin in our skin, when we go in the sun, we're not going to get all that we need. A Caucasian person can go into the sun for 15 minutes and they can get up to 90,000 IUs in 15 minutes. But for us, indigenous, it doesn't absorb. It doesn't absorb. So what we find here in the United States, there's so many people deficient in D3. And that is serious. You cannot be deficient in D3. Look at all of this that's linked when you're deficient in D3. When you're deficient in D3, it can lead to 17 different types of cancers, heart disease, high blood pressure, obesity, autoimmune, MS, arthritis, psoriasis, fibromyalgia, chronic pain, gout, PMS, infertility, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's, depression, chronic fatigue syndrome, just being deficient in D3. This is why when a doctor sees that you're deficient, he will immediately put you on D. 50,000 IUs per week is what he will do immediately, because they know how serious it is. So this is one thing that I really want to stress. You all, we have to make sure that we're getting our vitamin D3 in. Another thing that you have to know, anytime that we take D3, vitamin K2 and magnesium must be present. They must be present. The job of the K2 is to help calcium absorb, okay? Because in our body, 99% of calcium is stored in our bones and our teeth already. So don't take an extra calcium supplement. Don't do that. We already have 99%. The K2 is going to tell the D where it's supposed to go, where it's supposed to absorb, but it's also going to tell that calcium where it's supposed to go. And if we don't have that, that's when you start running into calcium calcification, calcium deposits, kidney stones, fibroids, things like that, because you got all this calcium, just don't know where to go, and it's going all over the body. And that can be dangerous, and you don't want that to happen. Now, I'm not talking about K1. K1 is from your leafy green vegetables. I'm talking about vitamin K2. Okay, magnesium. When we're deficient in magnesium, magnesium is found in over 300 enzymes in our entire body. That's linked to every cell, every tissue, our muscles, our heart, our organs. So being deficient in magnesium can lead to anxiety, panic attacks, bowel disease, heart disease, insomnia, migraines, muscle spasms, seizures, nerve problem, hypoglycemia, hypertension. So you see what I'm saying, you guys? We cannot sit here and just be deficient in these things. These are critical minerals and vitamins that we have to consume that is going to keep our health going and going as long as we're on this earth. Okay, the B vitamins. All the B vitamins. The B vitamins are water soluble. That means they leave our body every single day. So we have to replenish. We got B1, B2, B3, B5, B6, B7, B12. There's even some more Bs that I want us to know about. I won't go into them right here though, but they're water soluble. So we have to make sure that we're taking this. Just the B complex once a day. That's all. That's all you have to do. But the Bs work synergistically to provide vital cellular energy to the body. But it helps with our cellular health, red blood cells growth, our digestion, brain and nerve function, good eyesight, skeletal muscle tone, cardiovascular health, diabetes. It helps with our hormones. So the Bs are very, very critical. And when you are taking a B complex, make sure it contains folate. Anytime we consume things in this world, we don't want to consume synthetics. Our bodies don't like synthetics. Our body was created. If you can think about our body and think about nature, we're almost similar. Okay, our body have 102 minerals. These herbs and vitamins and minerals, like sea moss gel, for example, sea moss has 92 minerals. And I'm glad I brought that up. I didn't have sea moss in my lineup here, but you're in the islands. I'm sure you guys can get plenty sea moss. But sea moss, talking about used to cure tuberculosis and pneumonia centuries ago, sea moss is amazing. I take it every single day. 92 minerals, and it's so healing. Vitamin C, amazing. Vitamin C, I was researching back in the 1500s when the sailors had scurvy disease. They were all dying, and then they figured out, hey, give them vitamin C, and then no more scurvy. So it started saving these sailors' lives. But vitamin C is a powerful micronutrient, crucial to your health. It's a super antioxidant. It's important for your skin, your bones, the connective tissues. Again, this too is water soluble, so it leaves the body every day. So it's good that we can be juicing. You know, all types of juice is very high in vitamin C. kiwi, mango, jackfruit, oranges, you know, just there's papaya. There's so much that we can be eating, juicing right now to better our health. But vitamin C will boost your immune system. It's great for the heart. It helps boost natural iron absorption. It reduces gout, prevent against cancer, infections, fight oxidative damage in the body, and prevent against soreness and damage to muscle tissues. Okay, so those are the herbs, minerals, and vitamins that I can tell you when Aiden, my son, when he was little, he took the probiotic, the D3. Now, I didn't know about K2 magnesium back then, but you know, you live and you learn. If I'm not growing and learning as I'm on this journey, well, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, because you should never get to a point where you know it all. It's always going to be consistent learning and growing. There's so much that I know right now that I can share with you guys. Write down nitric oxide, Nitric oxide, OXIDE. Nitric oxide is so critical and important to our body. And I never knew it until I was listening to the Nobel Peace Prize that you know, talked about it. This is what they would give babies in the NIC unit when the babies are born blue because their lungs are not fully developed. They let the babies inhale nitric oxide. The babies turn pink, just like that. So nitric oxide is something else, you guys, that's up there with oxygen that I would say you should definitely be taking as well. But all these things are going to help you remain crises free. Now, talk about even flow. Now, how does even flow help sickle cell? Even flow helps sickle cell because when you take it on a daily basis, it's going to. Now, when I talk about a chronic issue, I go to the root cause of it. Herb heals from the root cause, not treating symptoms. Sickle cell, the body doesn't produce enough red blood cells, abnormal hemoglobin, right? And oxygen. So even flow is going to ensure that the body is going to produce red blood cells. So when you take it, it's going to make the body produce red blood cells. I know it may sound like too good to be true, but that's how it works. It's going to increase oxygen and it's going to help raise your hemoglobin. That's what even flow does. Now, if you were to get a fever, you don't take even flow for infections. Even flow is only for sickle cell. That's it. All right. Now, when you talk about infections, you want to talk about natural antibiotics, such as vitamin C, such as garlic, echinacea, golden seal. These are natural antibiotics. And you can give natural antibiotics to babies as young as 6 months old. Babies as young as 4 months old can take even flow. It comes in liquid form. This is just food. So if you see that your child or yourself has a 99 temp, what I have done, what I have always done, what I still do today, 10 years later, and it still works, you immediately start taking or giving natural antibiotics. So if I choose golden seal and garlic, okay, or let's just say golden seal and astragalus. So say my son is sick or he has a fever. I'll give him first of all, I'll give him a probiotic to fuel the gut. Then I'll give him 1 full dropper of golden seal, 1 full dropper of astragalus. I will do this every 30 minutes until he take a total of 6 full droppers of golden seal and 6 full droppers of astragalus. This is how you kill and break infections. Easily, easy. And you can repeat the same thing that evening, or you can do it again the next day. But you keep doing it and you continue to do it, and that fever will break. Okay, anxiety. A lot of people are dealing with this today. Even in my line of work, I'm not dealing with anxiety as far as what is being talked about because I know the truth. But as far as so many people, I'm here, I'm there, I'm at the Seattle schools, I'm this consult, I'm that, I'm all over the place, right? So I need to take things to calm me down as well, or I'll be all over the place and then I'll be sick. So just to give you guys some great herbs to help manage your hormones and make you feel good and just relax you, right? Probiotics is going to always be there because you cannot do anything without first having the good bacteria inside the gut. Saffron. Saffron is an herb that has been in a study with one of those antidepressants, Zoloft or one of those, but saffron came out with flying colors. It does wonders to reduce PMS symptoms, anxiety, lowers levels of stress hormones or cortisol. But saffron also helps with other chronic issues as far as protecting and promoting, preventing hypertension, diabetes, all these other chronic issues. It does help with that as well. PS 100. Our brain is majority made up of PS 100. Now that's the short name for it. It's a long amino acid name, but if you go and Google PS 100 supplement, you can find it. So this is another thing that we can take: L-theanine, passion flower, lemon balm, ashwagandha, maca root, holy basil. Okay, these are just herbs to calm us down. Sage, lavender. You can take detox baths. Detox baths are great. You run a tub of hot water. You can add in Epsom salt, baking soda, apple cider vinegar, 10 drops of lavender, 5 drops of sage, and just relax. You will feel amazing, amazing. So at the end of the day, we can have a quality of life living with sickle cell when we apply proper nutrition, herbs, minerals, vitamins, proper hydration, the right amount of rest. We can conquer the world. These are just some kids that I want to share with you who all have sickle cell disease. Once in their life suffered strokes, chronic pain. Now today, these children are thriving, like my son. They're not having crises. They're not having any more pain crises. They're living a great life because now they know the truth. They know the right foods to eat. They know the right supplements and nutrients and minerals to take. And when you put that in your body, the body will heal. Thank you all so much for letting me speak. That is my presentation. And I will hand it back over to Kieran. Or KW.
I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering. I'm sure you have also been counterintuitive to a lot of the information, well, some of the information that we have been sharing. One thing that came out was the penicillin news. That's very popular with sickle cell disease. Now, I want to invite people to ask questions because if I start, I won't stop. So the first question is, how do we get a recorded copy of our presentation? All right, Mr. on the slideshow. So Mr. Blackman will talk about availability of what is happening tonight. It's actually live on Facebook. Should be on the SISBD's Facebook page. So if you want to get information, just type in SISBDTT on your Facebook access and you should see this on later today. And there's one other question. That's it. Well, I want to wait for some questions to come in, Tamika. People are recovering like me, I guess.
Ask your questions, you guys. Ask away. Ask away.
You could start by telling us about treating leg ulcers naturally.
Yeah, maybe you can talk about leg ulcers and what you would recommend.
So for leg ulcers, I would definitely recommend nitric oxide and NAC, NAC. So I can type this. Let me just type it.
Sure. Right.
Leg ulcers, NAC, which is an amino acid, because these are both great for wound healing as well. So nitric oxide, very high dose of vitamin C. All right. So you guys you can't take no 500 milligrams, 1,000. You got to take like 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C 2 to 3 times a day. Now, you're not going to do this always. This is just short term, but you got to start getting the blood flow in that area. So you got to do high dose of vitamin C. I got to put even flow in there because the whole reason for the ulcer, because that section is not getting any oxygen. No oxygen, no blood flow, no nothing. So I'm going to put even flow. I'm going to put chlorophyll. You know, these are all things. And even you can make a paste. You can make a paste from Golden Seal. Buy the Golden Seal capsules. By the way, Golden Seal is a natural antibiotic. And you can mix Golden Seal along with turmeric and coconut oil to make a paste. And apply this paste to the ulcer 3 times a day. I'm also going to add to drink plenty of bone broth because that is also helps with healing, wound healing. When my dad was on hospice, he had so many bed sores, and I came in there with all these herbs and started giving him. I gave him a bunch of stuff, but I gave him bone broth, turmeric. Gosh, I can't remember all the stuff I was giving, but tons and tons of bone broth. This actually helps as well. Oh, so anyway, I gave him that for 5 days. And then the 5th day, the wound nurse told me, wow, your dad's wounds have healed up 40% since you've been here. I'm like, thank you. Thank you, God. You know, drink plenty of bone broth. All right. Okay, so I just posted all of that there.
What is the source of bone broth, Tamika?
Well, when you buy it, you definitely want to get all 5. So let me just do this right quick. Let me just put a picture here.
Sure.
So you all can see it. Oh gosh, everything is looking different for me here. Hold on a second. Let me get to a screen that I am familiar with here. Okay, here we go. This is the one that I would recommend, Ancient Nutrition, Dr. X. Collagen or bone broth. Let me get a good snippet here. Now, are you, while I'm looking this up, KW, do you all do CMOS there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but how do you consume your CMOS?
I get mine wild crafted and okay, hold on a second here.
Sure.
I thought I could multitask, but I guess for some reason here I am not able to multitask. All right, is this the right one? Okay, you know what? I tell you what. Let me do this. I will now. I got to come back and find you guys. Where are you guys? Nope. I will get the right type and I will email it to you. But there's the one you want to get. It has all 5. It has the fish, the egg, the chicken, the pork, but it's all grass fed. But you definitely want to get all 5 and make sure you have all 5 of those. But I'll find it. But it is Ancient Nutrition is the brand. So I will put that here. And Dr. X, the brand for bone broth. Okay. So now the way I consume mine, and see, I actually sell the CMOS as part of my immune booster box. So mine is wild crafted and it's in the refrigerator. It stays up to like four weeks, but I just put it in smoothies. Like I had one earlier, I made a smoothie. I dumped like 2 tablespoons in, or I just get it and eat it. I don't care what it tastes like. I know it tastes bad, but when I look at the world and the shape that the world is in and everything that's been done and all the suffering, I just want to connect back to nature and eat everything that nature has to offer, especially if it's healthy. So I'll just eat spoonsful of it. I mean, one time I just sat there and ate a half of a cup. I have 4 ounces, and I ate a half of it just sitting right here at my desk. But I do put it in gravies. I put it in soups. I put it in smoothies. I put it in my bathtub. I put it on my face. I put it on my hair. So you can do all that with it. Again, it's 92 minerals and it's super, super healing.
Okay, we have 11 questions. Are you finished with ulcers? We have more to share.
Oh, no, I am.
You may get more questions on ulcers later on. First question is from Chris. What foods have nitric oxide?
Okay, hold on a second. You know what? While I'm pulling that up, can you go to the next question right quick? Because I have to go through some technical things to get to it.
This is from Ruth, and she asked, how can I get off the pain meds?
Okay, so Ruth has sickle cell and she is on pain meds. Okay, Ruth, are you taking any supplements right now at all? Well, what I would say to her, first of all, I do consult. Okay, so I would say just make sure that you're working with somebody that can help you get off, because you have to understand how this all works. But what you would do, you would just start your regimen. You would just get your probiotics, your D3, your K2, your magnesium, your B complex, your vitamin C, and your even flow. And depending on the amount of toxins that's been done to your body, you have to detox your body, okay? And that could just be cleaning out your lymphatic system, taking some clevers or taking nattokinase serapeptase, because that gets rid of like scar tissue. But we'll detox you, and then you just start on those basic supplements that I just named. Now, you don't stop your pain meds, because you can definitely go into withdrawal. So if you've been taking them every day, you don't want to stop. We'll wean you off and slowly wean you off until you have weaned off. And then at that point, you're taking your supplements and now you're good. So there is a process and the steps to it.
Okay, next question. What was your son? This is from Chris again. What was your son's daily supplement regime?
Okay, so at that time, years ago, I was giving Aiden, I don't even know if I knew about probiotics back then. I don't think I did. So I was giving him the even flow. He definitely took D3. He was taking like 2,000, 5,000 IUs of D3. I was giving him vitamin C. He was taking B complex, and he was taking chlorophyll. So even flow, chlorophyll, B complex, vitamin C, and yeah. So that is what he took. Now, did somebody have a question about what foods are in nitric oxide?
They asked what foods are a source of nitric oxide, yes.
Okay, so first of all, it's going to be foods that actually activates nitric oxide inside the body. So these are going to be, let's see. Oh gosh. Every time I think I'm ready, right? Okay, so here we go. Let's see. We have, so L-citrulline and L-arginine, right? So L-arginine activates nitric oxide. So foods that contains that are going to be garlic, beef, eggs, shellfish, watermelon, pumpkins, cucumbers, beets, pomegranates, citrus fruits, tomatoes. Yeah.
Okay, that should answer the question. Next question is from Maxine. What do you recommend for kidney disease and to normalize your creatine or creatine levels?
Okay, again, that is going to be a more of a one-on-one type consultation, but if you are already have spiked up creatinine levels, what I want to tell you to take, I can't tell you to take it, because if you have extreme high potassium levels right now, it depends on if your potassium levels is through the roof. I would say dandelion. But dandelion is super high in potassium. So you are at a state right now, you probably can't take that. So the first thing that I would say right now is to get you some pure natural iron, because you are anemic and you need, I'm not talking about iron from the doctor. I'm not talking about iron over the counter. I'm talking about natural iron that, like Floridex, it's natural from the earth. Okay. Nothing synthetic. But you will need to start off with the natural iron right now, just to get your anemic and those levels up. Then after that, we can move you into more of the dandelion and things like that. But for now, I'm just going to say natural iron.
Okay. I have a couple of hands raised, so we'll get to the questions, then we'll go to those persons who want to ask the questions, verbalize their questions. This question is about crisis pain as well, but it's more specific to the gut. Is it different what you said before? So the question is, what is the best way? What is the best thing to use to eliminate the pain when there's crisis of the gut?
So crises of the gut. So any crises of the gut, crises of the, what is that? Oh my gosh, I forgot what you call it. Paraprism, however you say that. Yeah. So whether it's that, whether it's crisis of the gut, whether it's a leg crisis, whether it's splenic sequestration, it's all the same protocol. So what I could tell you, if it is in the gut, you want to first probiotic, then you want to start taking if any crises, start taking 1 even flow every 30 minutes. You can take up to 20 even flows in a 24-hour period. Okay. And then you want to add in ginger, because ginger is also great for inflammation, but ginger is also great for the digestive, helping everything about the digestive. So that's the thing that I would say. Probiotic, take your even flow every 30 minutes until you can take up to 20. And also take 3, if this is for an adult, take 3 ginger capsules every hour until you take a total of 15 of them. Okay. And if it's for a child, you can give the child, depending on the age, 8, 9, 10, they still can take 2 ginger capsules every hour until they take at least 12. Okay. But that's your go-to for that. So probiotics, even flow, ginger.
This is an interesting question. And I've heard this from a couple of our members in the past. What happens when your body does not do well with most of the natural foods? So natural foods don't sit well with them. And
okay. I have never, first of all, when I hear that, it sounds a little off to me, because your body is from the earth. Now, it could be your body is so toxic in the inside. It could be you are so acidic that anytime you take anything natural or you eat anything, your body is just is going through a detox phase. So one thing that we have to understand, you guys, is, and maybe they need to explain more, but when we spend a lifetime of damaging the body, and we don't know we're damaging it. I did the same thing. I mean, I used to eat sugar-free this, sugar-free that, all the bad stuff in my 20s. But when we spend a lifetime of doing that, and then when we try to start eating healthy or taking supplements, then some of the detox symptoms could be headaches, frequent urination, skin rashes, mild joint pains, upset stomach, just don't feel right. Okay, that's your body detoxing. But I can't believe that if you eat natural foods, you're just going to get sick. I would say you got to do a proper detox first. So let's detox the body, get all the bad stuff out. Even if that's drinking bentonite clay, you can get bentonite clay. That's from the earth, 18 minerals. Put a teaspoon in some water and just drink that twice a day. That will start the process of getting all that toxins, all the chemicals, impurities, and junk out of the body. But I've never heard of, and I mean, if I did hear that, it's just because the person's body is just severely acidic, and they're dealing with alkaline, acidic, back and forth. You know how it is when you're on hydroxyurea. Like people ask me, can I take even flow along with hydroxyurea? So I say back to them, because we're not really thinking. I say if there was an herb that you could take and you can be super healthy for the rest of your life, why wouldn't you just take it? Why would you want to take something that has horrible side effects that over time can give you cancer? Just I didn't say it, they said it. It's listed on those side effects. So I have people on hydroxyurea and the natural route, and they just bounce back and forth all the time, back and forth, back. I said, you got to get that stuff out of your system, out of your life. Then you can start living a pain-free life 100%. So don't give up on eating the natural things. You just try to add a probiotic. Maybe your gut is just super out of whack. And if your gut is out of whack, it's just not going to work. So start a probiotic, and even fulvic acid. I'll put this here, probiotic along with fulvic minerals. And this is a huge added bonus. I don't know who knows this man. His name is Ra'an Nefer Aman. I met him at here in Seattle at it was an African healing. And this man is well known all over the world with his healing work. I didn't even know who I was sitting next to. I was honored. but we were talking. He's the one who told me about, you should add fulvic minerals with your probiotic. I said, okay, I'm going to do it. So start there, try to heal the gut, and then start back trying it out and see if you notice a difference.
Okay. The next question is from Ada or Ada. Can you explain what your regular day looks like and in what order to give my son who has sickle cell his vitamins? One word I can, hens, I'm not sure what that is, minerals. Also, is there a pill form for ginkgo biloba, ginkgo and nattokinase or nattokinase? So a two-part question.
Okay. How old is her son?
The person hasn't said. Maybe they can type it in now.
Okay.
This is from
okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's keep. I see the questions here. Is any nutrition for spleen health? Is that the next one?
Right. That's the second one. That's the next one. Yeah.
Okay. So while we're waiting for her to tell me the age, nutrition for spleen. See, you guys, if y'all ask me a herb, I'll be like burdock roots. Let me see. For your spleen, hibiscus tea. If you can drink lots of hibiscus, that will help. Let's see. Food for the spleen. And when you think about it, it's like it's gonna all be leafy greens. Let's see. And then you have to be careful where you get your information from as well, too. Hello. Because nowadays, everything is on the internet. So you really want to be careful with who you are trusting. Let's see.
Oh, well, I tell her call Chelsea because I'm in a web.
So let me just say this. No. Well, you have to take your probiotic on an empty stomach. So don't ever take your probiotic with other things at the same time. Always take your probiotic on an empty stomach. Okay, now going back to the spleen. Historically in Eastern medicine, the spleen is viewed as one of the most important organs. Let's see, the best way, eating a diet high in antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and essential fluids. This helps lower the inflammation and fight free radical damage. So a Mediterranean diet, pretty much, you want to eat the foods that's going to keep inflammation down. And then you want to make sure you're not using the bad oils, try to stick with your coconut oils, your avocado oils, things like that, your ghee, Ghee, these are your healthy fats. But green leafy vegetables, your brightly colored fruits, all kinds of cabbage, cauliflower, berries, your omega-3s like your salmon. Make sure whenever you eat fish, it's always wild caught. Don't ever eat anything farm raised. Nuts and seeds, chia, flax, hemp, or pumpkin seeds. Unrefined oils, I just mentioned that, olive oil, coconut oil, and herbs and spices, ginger, turmeric, and garlic. So those are a few things to help with the spleen. Did she come back and say how old her child is?
Not yet. So let me switch over to one hand raised, and then we'll come back to the questions that are on the chat. So Shannon Robinson, join us and speak.
Shannon, what did Shannon do?
She raised her hand. She wants to ask a question. Ms. Robinson, you can speak.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm enjoying the session. Thanks again. But yeah, a friend of mine, she has Crohn's disease and she has arthritis really bad. What can she take?
Okay, so arthritis really bad. That's going to be turmeric. So that one's easy. Now you said Crohn's?
Yes, she has Crohn's disease.
Okay,
yes.
Well, she got to really change her diet. She has to change her diet. That's number one. But again, the basics, you guys. Every time that if there's a health issue going on, you have to already know you got to take the basics. You got to take your probiotics, your D3, your K2, your magnesium, your vitamin C, your B complex, and your iodine. As you saw, when I put those vitamins up, it led to all those chronic illnesses. So just already know the basics has to be there first. So to add on top of that, Shannon, I'm going to say slippery elm, ginger, definitely probiotics, but your slippery elm and your marshmallow roots is going to be helping the people with the Crohn's. But then they got to change their diet as well to more plant-based Mediterranean foods and stop all the process.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
We go back to the tight questions. I'm not seeing, let me see if I go along, if it's an answer from Ada. Okay. Ada's son is 7 years old.
7?
Yes.
Okay.
Should I reread the question or remember the question?
Yeah. So she just said what regimen her child needs for a 7-year-old. So your 7-year-old.
The daily regimen.
Yes. So you definitely want to start your child out taking a 20 billion probiotic on an empty stomach. Then you want to give your child a D3, K2, because we have to have that. Also, you need that to just keep your immune system boosted anyway. And then you want to give your child vitamin C. He can take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And then just one even flow. And if did I not mention a B complex and the B complex? And then that's it. Oh, well, I'm sorry. No. I need to add in the natural antibiotics. So you need to choose antibiotics.
You use the link. Sorry, go on.
I'm sorry, say it again.
No, go ahead, please.
Okay, so probiotic, D3, K2, B complex, vitamin C, even flow, and then golden seal. So those 6 things, because you have to have the even flow, right, to manage the sickle cell. You got to have the golden seal to manage infections. That's going to keep the immune system strong. You got to have the probiotic to keep the gut healthy. And then the B complex and the vitamin C are water soluble. So we have to have those. So that's how you can look at that. Now, if you want the dosage, okay, 20 billion probiotics, 1 B complex, 2,000 IUs of the D3 and the K2, and then just 1 even flow capsule a day. And then you can do 1 full dropper of golden seal 3 times a day starting out. So 3 times a day on the golden seal, because you're wanting to boost the immune system of your child. See, when I moved, I mean, throughout all my kids' lives, I've always given them a regimen to boost their immune system. So they'll take golden seal for 6 weeks, okay? After 6 weeks, you stop and you do something else for 3 weeks. So I'll stop golden seal, and then I'll do elderberry and astragalus for 3 weeks. Then I'll go back after 3 weeks, back to the golden seal, and do golden seal for another 6 weeks. This is how you boost your immune system. Just like we're giving the even flow every day, do not stop, don't miss a beat. And now my son doesn't even need it. So the same thing for the immune system. This is how you gain that immune. Okay, let me not play. But this is how you boost up your immune system where you don't ever be sick again. Like my kids don't even get sick. They don't even get sick anymore. It's amazing. So you don't want to wait until you're sick. You're never going to get anywhere doing that. You want to go ahead and give the natural antibiotics daily. This is going to boost up the immune system and make it stronger.
Okay, next question is from Dana. Can you take probiotics and other supplements at the same time?
Yeah, so I answered her a few minutes ago, and you cannot. You have to take the probiotic on an empty stomach. It has to be on an empty stomach. First thing in the morning, but then after that, 30 minutes or so, then you can go ahead and take all your other things.
Okay. Next question is from Kathleen Carnegie. My daughter is 5 years old and she is taking Even Flow Junior twice a day. HB, zinc, quarter pill a day, chlorophyll, vitamin D3, and elderberry syrup daily. Is there anything else I should be adding to her vitamin regime?
Just add in a B complex. She definitely needs the B complex. Now, if your child is 5 and you are giving Even Flow Junior twice a day, your child is to an age really, now if you haven't seen any issues and no crises, well then keep doing what you're doing. Just add a B complex to that. And I don't see vitamin C in here either. You want to add vitamin C and you want to add a B complex. And then you may need to increase your even flow just depending on how he or she doing. But yeah, but that's it. That's the only thing that I would add.
Okay, this one is from an anonymous attendee. What herbs would you recommend for long airway inflammation and to prevent acute chest syndrome, ACS?
Oh yes, oregano, cordyceps, mullein, reishi, nitric oxide.
Yep.
You can either make a paste out of the bentonite clay and apple cider vinegar, put that all over the chest. That'll help too. But yeah, the main ones, oregano, mullein, reishi, cordyceps, all these are natural antibiotics that is going to heal the lungs, repair the lungs, nourish the lungs. So yeah,
oregano, are you talking about the oil of oregano or
yep.
The herb
oil of oregano? It comes in liquid form and it comes in capsule form. Right. So I have the capsules by Gaia, Gaia. And yeah, I would tell people take like I had someone, let's see, she had breathing issues and shortness of breath, couldn't hardly breathe. She was just barely making it. So I said, listen, something else I want to share with you guys. I said, take 3 oreganos, 3 cordyceps every 30 minutes until you take 20 of each. And that's what she did. Now, this is something that we all can do. This is something that I don't even think that nobody knows unless you're indigenous. So breathing. This particular lady, I told her to close your mouth and inhale on the count of 4 and exhale on the count of 4. And Shannon has seen this because this is what we do. We have our wellness calls. So it's like this. You keep your mouth closed, but you inhale as high as you can go and you exhale. If you continue to do this over and over and over, you will find yourself expanding higher and more and more and more. When you do this, this activates, you are actually inhaling nitric oxide whenever you do this. And when you do this, guess what? It increased oxygen inside of your body, because that day her oxygen was 80. And then I said, continue to do your breathing. You could just sit here and do it. Do it like 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, whatever, but just do it a lot. Do you know that her oxygen went up that night to 90 from 80? So we can sit home and breathe ourselves back into oxygen. That was amazing. Clearly amazing. And if she had the cell food is liquid oxygen. Imagine if she was taking the cell food, breathing, taking those herbs, she back to 100%. So we got to start learning these techniques that we can do at home that can bring us into immediate healing just like that.
Okay, so one last question from Doris Aldridge or Aldridge. How can I tell if CMOS is any good? Good question.
Well, you ask the pros. They in the Caribbeans. No, I'm joking. Hey, Doris. Well, I mean, it smells bad, period. I don't think I've ever smelled any good. Well, yes, I have. I have smelled some worse than others. I have. I don't wait around for mine to get bad. I just go ahead and use it up. It lasts for up to 4 weeks in the refrigerator. Have I used it in the 5th week? I just did this morning. I made a smoothie this morning with some sea moss, been in my refrigerator, I know, 6 weeks. And I mean, I still feel good. But now, KW, what is your take on that? Do you have any, since you're right there where it's wild crafted?
Now, recently, I live in a blended family, good? And my sister buys all this stuff. Now, when we were growing up, CMOS was a common thing that I really was disgusted by, but I had no choice. I had to have it. So my sister recently started buying CMOS from the grocery and so on, but our CMOS preferably come from Tobago, because my uncles have supplied us all the time with CMOS, or we get it from Grand Riviere. We don't have to go get it ourselves, but we knew where it came from, because when you go to the beaches, you get a certain smell, there's CMOS. I actually see it on the beaches and CMOS and seaweed when you go out to the water. So you can buy it here, but you can get it, the natural stuff, both in the markets and so on. Or if you drive out to the rural areas, you see them selling it. And a good day, now long ago, it was never really bought. Just gave it to you. Now you get it, there are different ways. You can still get it, but not as easily. So you can get the natural CMOS. If you go to rural areas, you buy it from the folks who are selling it. You can get it from the groceries or health stores, different brands, of course, they have different efficacies. But CMOS needs to be clean and all kind of good stuff. Most people don't like to do that, so I know they prefer to buy it. But my history with CMOS ended a couple of years ago. So I really try and depend on supplements. But I would mix it into like smoothies and so on. Because there's something that I just don't like, beets. And you talk about eating beet, that's not me. So CMOS, we have different options for getting CMOS here, and I would think that the best CMOS still is coming from Sister Isle, Tobago.
Okay. Well, how long do you keep yours? Do you keep yours for 4 weeks, or do you use it past 4 weeks?
We have right now, my mother is a CMOS connoisseur. So we bought like four plastic containers, and they have lasted. That could last 2 weeks, because she would have it every day. And if she was listening to you now, she'd say, see, I tell you all, I need to have it every day. Because we said, no, I can't have it every day. But she can have it every day. So it doesn't last very long. I haven't had the actual natural CMOS for quite a while. I don't know what Mr. Blackman's take is on that, but I'm sure he has some input that you want to share. And maybe some of the other listening. But that's my history with CMOS is mainly natural. I've never had to buy CMOS anywhere, either from Tobago or from the the North Coast, and there's also a lot of sea moss coming. Seaweed is different than sea moss.
I grew up loving sea moss. I grew up loving sea moss.
Sorry?
I grew up loving sea moss, but you know,
right.
I grew up consuming it is like a punch or smoothie, as they would call it, you know. But yeah, but that's how I'm accustomed using it as a drink. But I've always loved it since I'm a child.
Wow. And yeah, and see, you probably started eating it when you were 6 months, didn't you?
Well, it's something I also use that we mix with it here in Trinidad. Sometimes is linseed or flaxseed. You all might call it flaxseed.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I have a lot of my people that's in my band who I consult with. Their babies right now at 8 months, 9 months, they're eating the sea moss right now, and they're eating it without any issues. Now, if we eat it, we're gonna be like, ugh. But the baby is eating it. He's like, nah, 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 nah. Because the baby don't have a taste. Start them out early.
You just reminded me of I call it forced nutrition, but I have to change that word. I have to call it loving nutrition, because I mean, every single thing that they gave me, I had to eat. The unfortunate thing is that there were a lot of young people in my family at the time coming through the house.
Yeah.
And whether you're family or visiting as a friend, a child of a friend, you still needed to eat that food, because in our house was just eat. There was no question of what do you want and no options.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was, we even, now we're talking about using coconut water. I just want to share something very quickly. My dad would get seawater from way out and put some stuff in it, leave it uncovered and tie it on a coconut tree. And when we're on vacation, we'll pour like a shot glass of that, I think once a week or twice a week. And they call it cleaning you out. I mean, I used to run around the house, all kind of weird stuff together, but you know, you still have to drink it. And some of those things I have not really learned. I could probably ask my mom, who still is pretty collective, about what was inside those things. But I understand that the seawater self-heals, self-cleans.
Yeah.
And I guess that was the vision behind it. Do you have any input about seawater? We have one more question I asked once you finish that.
You know what you just brought to my mind when you said that. I tell people to make a salt Soleil, and you do that by because we know sea moss has minerals, but you get the pink salt and you get a glass jar, and you put like this much of the pink salt in the jar, and then you fill it up with spring water, and you let that sit on the counter for 24 hours. And then every day you take a spoonful and put into like 8 ounces of water or 8 ounces of what water, and drink it down. This way you are getting 84 trace minerals, and it will clean you out.
That means it sends you to the end room.
Yeah.
That room that takes all day. Okay, so we have one more question. And this question is asking, right, how do you give a 1-year-old, and this is from Viv, and a 6-year-old probiotics on an empty stomach? I usually open the capsule for my 6-year-old in his breakfast meal.
Yeah, so the same thing. You just open the capsule up, pour the powder and a little bit of water, because the probiotic you're not going to taste, and just stir it up with a little straw, and then let your child drink it. So that's what I did for Aiden when he was taking even flow. I would open the capsule up as a baby, stir it really good, and just let him drink it with a straw. So that's the way you do it. And you can open it if you want to open it, put in a little bit of organic apple juice, because there are some things you can open that may not taste as well, but you can put in a little bit of organic juice, and I would just say apple, and then let them drink it that way as well.
Okay. And the last question so far is from Stacy. Bone broth is used. Okay.
Bone broth is used widely in Asian cuisine. Do you boil your sea moss?
I'm sorry. Bone broth, what now?
Bone broth is used widely in Asian cuisine. Do you boil your sea moss?
Oh, do I boil? Yeah. So when I don't make it anymore, but when I did make it, I would buy it, clean it really good, and let it sit on the counter, covered up for like 2 days. Then I put mine in a blender and then add the water. And so that's how I make my sea moss. But I have heard people boiling theirs, but no. So that's how I make mine.
Okay. Do you have any questions any raised hand questions, Mr. Blackman?
No, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing any more at the moment. Anyone else have any questions or comments they want to share? All right, we get them one hand raised. Janice or Janice, go ahead.
So my son's not on even flow or anything like that, and he has like been in the pool and he got triggered into a crisis in his leg. What would you do for like the pain or something like, you know, for that kind of issue?
Just you would have to start giving 1 even flow capsule every 30 minutes, along with 1 full dropper of chlorophyll, and just continue to do that every 30 minutes. Now, if he's in pain now and you need immediate, well, then I would say run a tub full of hot water, as hot as your child can stand it, and just submerge him in that all the way up. Oh, well, it's his leg. So yeah, so long as his leg is covered, as long as he's covered in hot water, he won't feel any pain at all. So like years ago, Aiden didn't tell me he was going into a crisis. And then all of a sudden he gets up, he limps. And I asked him, I said, "Are you okay? Because you limping." He said, "I'm okay." And I mean, I should have known. And then like an hour later, level 10 pain crisis. So I just put him in a tub of hot water and started giving him the even flow every 45 minutes, but you can do it every 30 minutes now. Just doing it every 30 minutes, you know, but now if he get out the tub, he's going to be right back in pain. But this is just to get him some relief while you're giving the even flow and the chlorophyll. But he'll eventually get over it, because the more you keep doing it every 30 minutes, it's going to make his body start producing red blood cells, and it's going to start pushing those stuck cells on through. Once the stuck cells get pushed through, blood is flowing again, oxygen is flowing again, and that means the crisis is over with. So just, you know, get the probiotics, get you some even flow and chlorophyll, and just do it like that.
How do you get a consult with you?
Okay, so let me put that in the chat. Please download the app, you guys, called Signal. It's a free app. It's a free private messenger app. And so once you get there, we can communicate. And then I'll share with you how to send the payment, and you know, and how everything works. But get me there on Signal, because I don't talk on my phone anymore. I talk on the Signal app, and I can let you know about everything that you need to know about there. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have some other questions that just came in. But we have a raise on Mr. Blackman.
Well, the hand was removed, but I think it was Stacy, so I'm looking for her. Okay, Stacy.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again now?
We have a raise hand from Stacy. Have you?
You said it's from Stacy?
Yeah, just some.
Hello, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Hi. What I wanted to do is attest to the fact of what Miss Mosely was saying, in terms of, so like my mom used to do some really crazy things, well, back in the day. I would think it was just really horrible. So we didn't used to eat our greens. She used to put it in a bake. She used to, if once I'm sick, she might make porridge with green fig, and that means like skin and all. Liver, in terms in terms of a half-cooked liver, you eating half-cooked liver.
Yes.
The CMOS, and as with Kyle, you could never say no to what she put before you.
Yes.
So her watch was is either eat it or lie down next.
My mom takes grass-fed beef liver capsules.
Yes.
Tons of benefits.
But
tons of benefits.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what happened during because I'm in my 40s now, but what I realized that there was like a quiet period between my teens and my mid 20s where I didn't have any issues whatsoever. So I forgot about crisis pain. I never thought about it, and it's only looking back now that I realized that there was a few years within my life that there was just this like quiet section in that there was nothing wrong with me or anything. Have you heard about instances like that where people may have had like raging crises in their childhood and stuff, and then there's a lapse, and then it starts all over again, possibly in late 30s, 40s?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay. So you have sickle cell?
Yes, I do. I have SS.
Okay, and so you're saying that you've had a great period where you didn't have any crises, and then now all of a sudden you're having them again. Is it?
Yeah. So like in my childhood, I never spent an entire term in school, so I was always out of school most of the term.
Okay.
And then like in my mid 20s, so to speak, into 30s, but it was just like about a 5-year period where I had no issues whatsoever. And I don't know if it was like just the effects of what mom used to do, and then I started to care for myself and things just went haywire. So
do you take supplements? Do you eat healthy?
I do. I am not
looking at the karaoke for tomorrow night and told people that this
okay, so you guys finished then?
There is somebody. Can somebody mute their phone?
Okay.
Or there is another
Hold a sec. All right, we have a couple more questions. When should the pink salt be taken?
Well, a time that you don't want to go to the bathroom.
I'm in our session, so I thought I'll jump into yours as well. I'm actually hosting.
So actually, you want to do it first thing in the morning. I would do it first thing when you wake up, just in case you got to rush to the bathroom. You don't want to do it and leave the house. Don't do that, because you may have to have a diaper on. No, but or just do it in the evening whenever you come home, where you know you're not having to rush out somewhere because you may have to go to the restroom. But for the lady that had the crises, didn't have a crisis and all that, it came back. Let me just say this. Look at what's happening today. You know, I don't know what's going on. I know we're running out of time, but it could be a lot of things. It could be you wear the mask too much. You know, everybody's walking around, covering their nose up, can't breathing down the same carbon dioxide, blocking off oxygen, blocking off nitric oxide. So you just got to look at, you know, what are you doing now that you didn't do? But what I can tell you is just get you some even flow, get some even flow, or because this, I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Okay. Bye.
A pain crisis. Do you have this info?
All right. Hold on. Take care. All right. Bye. Next question is, does a pain, do you publish this info? It's from Tony. She's asking if you publish the info, Tamika. Take care.
I'm not sure how to publish it. No, I mean, Maybe I'm not understanding the question. I'm sorry.
Tony has asked if you publish this information.
If I published it where?
I guess in a book, or I'm not sure.
Oh, well, I mean, now I do have a second book out that's called Healing from God's Medicine Cabinet. So some of the, I mean, a lot of the information is in here about what y'all should be brushing your teeth with. If y'all still using over-the-counter toothpaste like Colgate, you got to stop using that. That's going to kill everything in your mouth. So the best thing to brush your teeth with is going to be the bentonite clay, because it pulls everything out of the mouth, the gums, all types of infections, bacteria, E. coli, Ebola, viruses, and everything. And it gets tartar and plaque off your teeth easily. Oh my gosh, I had gum disease. And when I moved here, I started using the clay, because when I would go, I would have spaces, 7s and 8s. When they measure the spaces, 7s and 8s. And every time they do my teeth, it's blood and it hurts and it takes them forever. So I said, okay, I'm done. If we can heal with these herbs, I know I can heal this mouth with some herbs. So I started brushing my teeth with bentonite clay for those 3 months. I went back to the dentist, then 2s and 3s. Isn't that amazing? They didn't have nothing to pull off my mouth, no blood. They went over my teeth so quick. I was going to say, you done already? I didn't even hurt. So all they could say was, wow, whatever you're doing, that's great.
Can you type the name of the product that you use in the chat, please?
Yes, for toothpaste. Yeah, we're taking it back. We're going back to nature. I'm not playing. We're going back. Bentonite clay.
Okay,
and you can just have it dry. You know, you get you a little glass container, pour the dry clay, and then whatever flavor you want, you can get cinnamon essential oil, peppermint essential oil, lemon, spearmint, and just put whatever you want to flavor it and put that in there, and you wet your toothbrush and dip it in the dry clay, and that's what you brush with every morning.
Okay, all right. Next question, and this is from, okay, Skemet Mathra. I hope I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. If I'm not, I do apologize. Does a pain crisis always accompany a fever or bring on the fever?
Nope, not at all. Not at all. However, an infection can definitely throw you into a crisis. So this is why it's important. Like in Africa and Kenya, for the longest time, the parents, the kids would be in a crisis, but they would overlook the infection. See, they'll be in a crisis, they'll have an infection, but they're just giving even flow every 30 minutes, even flow every hour, even flow. I'm like, even flow does not help with infections. So let me put this in the chat. Even flow does not help with infections. Okay. Do not use even flow for infections. Only use even flow for sickle cell. So if your child is in a crisis and has an infection, what you want to do is immediately start giving the natural antibiotics every 30 minutes, right? Now, you can give the even flow, but don't give it every 30 minutes. You can give one even flow 3 times that day, but you want to focus mostly on the natural antibiotics because you want to kill the fever. That's what we want to do. Immediately kill the fever. Once you kill that fever, that crisis will be over with. So that's how you have to look at it. But yeah, a fever is not going to always be present. So don't ever think of it that way. So that's a great question.
Let me just ask a question from knowing what has happened in the past. Your website, if people want to contact you for consults or appointments, do you still have appointments being taken on the website or only on the Signal app?
Yeah, that's my website. Once upon a time, I had millions of reviews and testimonials, and I had a place where you can book with me. But right now, I have everything down. That's why I'm asking you to go to Signal and communicate with me there, because it's manual. Yeah, okay. So we're working on bringing everything back up, but we're going to come back up on the blockchain. I have some people in Florida that I'm working with, he has a blockchain, because I'm not going to be on social media whenever we go over there, because the things that I'm saying, I can't say it on social media. Yeah.
Yeah, blockchain is freedom.
Yes, and that's what we need, freedom.
Yeah. Okay, and Mr. Alexander is just saying that if you are published, where can it be accessed?
Oh, so now if they want to
Maybe you can type it on the chat so we can have access to that information as well.
Okay. Oops, okay, hold on a second. Purchase the book. You can still purchase the book off my website.
Hi, good night. I just want to ask if the attendees are seeing the messages in the chat from Ms. Mosely.
Sorry, can you say it again?
I just wanted to confirm if they're seeing the messages in the chat.
Yes, I am. Okay, so Healing from God's Medicine Cabinet on my website. Now, to order sickle cell natural healing, go to Amazon. Yeah, so they're both on Amazon, but the hard copy of Healing from God's Medicine Cabinet is not on Amazon. But you can definitely get Sickle Cell Natural Healing. Both versions are on Amazon.
Okay, we have 2 raised hands. Mr. Blackman, you want to take care of those, please?
Good night. No, my hand went up when Renee asked the question if everyone was seeing the chat, but I guess she adjusted it now, so I'm seeing it now. Thanks.
Okay, welcome. Was there somebody else?
Wendy Herbert.
Wendy, okay.
Yes, I had the same thing to say. I was not seeing the stuff that she was typing up on the chat at all. Now I just saw what she recently put, but with the things that she typed for the ulcers and some other stuff she typed before, I am not seeing that right now. But I just saw only what she just put.
Tamika, did you send the information on the ulcers? I thought you said you would email that. There was a long list you were typing. Are you going to email it, or did you put it in the chat? I don't think it showed up in the chat.
Okay, about what now?
The information on ulcers that you were typing.
Oh yeah, I put that in there. Yeah, I put let's see.
Okay, I see it now. I see it.
Yeah, so it says me. Oh, okay. Look at that. I sent that to someone directly. It was sent to Kiara. I mean, yeah, the other person that's on here. So let me just copy and paste. And
no, it's okay. I think he already shared it.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Sent to Kieran. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Well, we are at 8:54, and I know we have got you here for 2 hours. And I just want to ask Mr. Blackman to take us into the wind up, because I have questions. I think I will. So I'm gonna make a bold statement. I'll save my questions for the next time you come around, right?
Well, you can ask. You sure? Because where they taking the world, we don't know where we gonna be. No, joking.
True. Well, the way I look at things now, if I don't get to do it next time, I guess the creators can decide, you know, that wasn't your time. But I mean,
so before I wrap up, let me say, Dr. Batson was having some technical difficulties, and that's why he didn't join. And he said he will try to make himself available another day. All right, so we'll try to see how best that goes. Tamika, we'd like to thank you very, very much for the time you've given us tonight and the information. All right, and I'm sure that a lot of persons here will welcome the advice and the information that you've given them, and an opportunity to try a different approach, see what works for them, and maybe that changes their way of dealing with the condition that they live with. Right? I am one that has been trying to change my lifestyle in that way, the way I eat, what I consume, what I put into my body and things like that. I've become a lot more conscious about all of those things recently. And that's one of the reasons too, I wanted to make sure that we really had the session, right?
Yeah.
To give people an option. Not everybody is agreement with it, but the information is important, right? And let them choose for themselves.
Yeah, like an option. I just wanted to say one thing that, two things actually. I just want to agree with Stacey because my journey into liver was raw. And I mentioned some of them there and they were skinning up their face, but I used to have to eat raw chicken organs for about a good 9 years. Liver, gizzard, heart, raw. And a couple of years ago, I was reading and I read that these organs have a high presence of CoQ10. So for those of you all who know supplements, that's one of the supplements that exist in all the hard-working organs of your body. So that's my mom and my dad.
Well, as you mentioned, and Mr. Young, I just remembered sometime earlier this year, I saw an article in the Express about an Australian man, the oldest, 110 years or something. And wow. he ate raw chicken brains, and I remembered you.
I had no choice. The only thing I really enjoyed was the gizzard. With all the heart and liver and so on and okay. So I'll probably freaking some people out tonight, but I just want to share that in agreement with Stacey.
Well, and I want to read something to you. You know, you guys, organs, actually, we don't really eat it, but this nutritionist, let me see. Organs are jam-packed with important minerals, vitamins, micronutrients that can have a huge impact on our health. Organ meats are far higher in nutrients than the muscle meats that we're used to eating. For instance, beef liver contains 50 times as much vitamin B12 as steak and more folate and B vitamins than any other food on the planet. In fact, it's more densely packed with vitamins and minerals than kale and spinach. So yeah, so organ meat, liver. Yeah.
Stacey, I don't know where your parents get this vision from, Gilbert.
I don't think I should ever tell my mom this because she will be, you see what I tell you?
High in vitamin A.
I mean, the things that they did to me after agreeing out, they did it for me.
Yes,
but,
yes.
I mean, I still had crisis. But I was able, especially my teen years and my 20s and 30s, I did all kinds of stuff physically.
Yeah, and you're right.
I'll just ask one more question before we go. Something that just came in from Chris Mocado, right? Sickle cell warriors deal with anemia and being tired and low energy. Any ideas for increasing energy?
Yes, probiotics, B complex, D3, nitric oxide. So the nitric oxide and the even flow and the chlorophyll, this will bring you tons of energy. But you got to heal your gut first. Heal your gut. Take your D3. The B complex will also give you energy. So start on your basics.
And raw organs. All right, listen. Yeah, the second thing I want to say is that you'll come back, right? We have Mr. Blackman. We have 4 sessions on tomorrow. We have a family get together on Saturday. It's a caregiver line. I know you're quite busy, and if Mr. Blackman agrees as well, we certainly want to invite you in. Just come hang out with us. The word line means taking all day to do nothing and having fun. That's my definition. So I'm gonna revert to Mr. Blackman, and I'm muted.
Well, like I said, we just wanted to thank you for all the time you spend, the time and the information that you've given us tonight. I know it's been really fruitful, and thank you for helping making this event a success and our commemoration of World Sickle Cell Day a great success. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, see you guys later.
Okay, folks, good night. See you guys in the morning for reproductive health and sickle cell disease with Professor Asnani.